Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to fiberglass a longboard because I know a lot of people skip this step, which you really shouldn't do, because if you just skip fiberglass, I mean, you just got a piece of wood and it can be affected by weather and can also be affected many other ways, and it doesn't make it as strong, so it can break easier. Now, I already fiberglassed one side, so that's what your finished product's going to look like. And I'm going to cut off all this excess after this layer dries. This is the bottom, and now I'm about to show you how to do the top. Okay. First off, you want to make sure no excess is touching it. And sorry about that. For supplies, I use 2 sawhorses to hold it. I have one of these. It's just something to move the resin across with. Make sure you have some sort of glove that the epoxy resin isn't going to eat through. These are just like rubber on the inside and then cloth on the outside. And yeah, you want to make sure your hands are protected, because fiberglass, it can cut into your skin, and you don't want that epoxy resin getting in your skin or on your hands, because I got some on my hands and it kind of sucks already. So that's that. Be sure to lay out newspaper if you're doing it in a place where you don't want to get epoxy on the ground. You're going to need fiberglass resin stuff right here, and that comes with a hardener, and you can buy that separate. You need to mix these two. And with this kind, it's 10 drops per ounce, and I'm going to make probably like 2 ounces right now. Maybe I might be able to get away with 1 even. Now, you want a cup that you can measure with that you don't mind damaging. Right now, the top's covered in epoxy, but I have a little spout to use, so I'm going to use that. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and make 1 ounce and then put 10 drops in, or 2 ounces, sorry, 2 ounces. Okay guys, so I got that poured in there, I got the hardener in there. Now what you want to do is you really want to get this stuff stirred up, because if it isn't stirred up right, then it isn't going to harden, and then you're just going to have permanently wet disgustingness on your board that you won't be able to fix, and you'll have to remake another board, which sucks. So make sure this is mixed up. There you go. Put that down. And then once you get this, you don't have too much time, so I'm going to start here. You want to take and pour a thin layer right on the wood. That was a lot, but it'll get distributed. You want to just make sure you really spread that out nicely. Try not to get too much on the outside of the stuff hanging off, because you don't really want to get that stuck, and then it sucks to get it off. But yeah, some more on there. There's a lot again. Don't put too much on. What you're really doing is trying to distribute all of this throughout the whole thing. And by the way, on the other side, I put 2 layers for the bottom to give it more strength, and I'm putting 1 on the top. So this is just 1, but if you want to add another one, what you do is you put resin down, and then you put another layer of resin, or you put 1 layer of resin on the wood, and then you take the fiberglass on, which is these sheets right here, and then you put more resin on, and then you lay another sheet on, and then more resin, and that's how you put 2 layers on. You just do the same step twice. It's just about spread out there. You want to make sure that that whole thing is covered. You do not want to miss spots. That would suck, because then it wants to pull up in that spot and get air bubbles, and then it just comes off. So the whole purpose of this resin is to keep the stuff on. It's like glue. Or it is glue, I should say. Okay. Now, after you have that completely covered, you want to take your sheet of fiberglass, make sure it's completely clean, and all good. And you want to lay it on so it fits. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight. I'm doing mine diagonal because I don't want to have to buy another sheet of fiberglass. So move that down a little bit. The stuff stretches too, so you can take advantage of that. Stretch that out. Make sure there's no wrinkles. Lay it out so that way you start to see some of the resin that you laid down before. Get all the excess strands away. Failed. Hold on a second. Try not to let that happen. Lay it down. Making sure that the whole thing's covered. Pressing it down. Get all the wrinkles out. Doesn't need to be absolutely perfect, but try and get close. You want to take your resin again. Put that on top of there. Don't be too stingy on the resin, but don't use like way too much. You can add more as you go, so start off small and just add more until you start to see it darken up and actually look like wood. That's what you want. You don't want it to look like just completely white. It's okay if there's a couple little holes in your fiberglass. This really isn't that hard of a process. Just a lot of people don't know what they're doing, so they just skip it. But I've done this twice before. I'm pretty sure about what I'm doing. In fact, you know what? No, I'm positive about what I'm doing. Spread that nicely over. Once you get to this step, you pretty much don't have to worry about it hardening, and you can take your time a little bit because this stuff takes like 5 minutes to harden after you've done it, and it's, well, not 5 minutes, like 10 minutes I think, and I've got plenty of time. Make sure you really get the ends too, because I made a longboard a while ago and it just started peeling off the end because it wasn't sticking with the resin. So you want to make sure you really get the end and really rub in the, you'll get white spots, which kind of suck too, which you want to make sure you really get them wet with this stuff. So once you get near the end, you can just kind of push so that way you can get extra resin, because the main goal at the end is to get as much resin off as you can. So you can use a bunch, you just have to get it all off. Sort of, not all of it. Okay, I think I've got that completely covered. I'm just gonna, like I said, just push that to the end. Let that go onto the newspaper. And you want to try your best not to get the stuff on your hands, because then you got to use like paint thinner to get it off. And here, I'll just take the camera. Here is the finished product of what I have. Get close up here. See how it's not extremely nice, but once it dries, it's going to look nice. So there. And once that does dry, you want to take a file and you just want to go around the edges with it. You can even use just like an what am I talking about? An X-Acto knife to cut off all the excess around it. And then once you get to the hard parts where the epoxy hits the wood, that's going to get really hard, and it's going to be just straight fiberglass. And you want to make sure you wear a respirator mask. You do not want fiberglass in your lungs. That would ruin your weekend and most of your life. But yeah, you want to take a file to that, and there's going to be lots of fiberglass dust, so you got to be really careful with that. You file around that until it comes off, And then you do the same on the bottom. See if I can get that. There we go. There's the bottom. That's already fiberglassed. And you have a longboard. You just have to drill holes. And bam, that's how you fiberglass it. So thanks for watching.